Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to our first ever Gen Con board game breakfast. Technically, today is when Gen Con Live starts, although I believe it starts at noon Eastern time. So Gen Con kicked off a little bit. I think they're doing the online plays that probably already started, but there will be online stuff happening throughout this weekend. Not obviously the same as Gen Con, but if you want to be involved, it's going to be going on. We have a contest for a game called Oversiege. Now, this is currently on Kickstarter. You can find the link in the description below. In fact, you want to find the link because you need to find that link to enter this contest. To enter this contest for Oversiege, you need to email us at contest@dicetower.com. And in the header, in the subject line, put the word Oversiege. It's one word. And then in the description, you need to give us your address and also 3 armaments in the new game Oversiege from Kaz Games. So you want to put those in. Now, why do you want to do that? Because we have a winner coming up. We'll announce that next week. You can win a copy of Oversiege and a $100 Visa gift card. Wow. Z's already spent his in his mind. So...
I can buy more Oversiege stuff.
Yeah, so Oversiege is the tagline is the most epic card game since the Middle Ages. It's a card game which plays like a board game, and you have these castles fighting back and forth. In fact, one of their selling points is if you and someone else have the game, it's made to easily play against somebody else virtually, over the thing. And you can find out more about this at the Kickstarter link, which I said, again, is in the description here of the video. Right. All right. So is that half a traffic cone? It is not, but that's a good one. I'm going hunting in just a second.
Half a traffic cone is really good. Yeah, I like it.
All righty. So we're going to talk about the news in just a second, but first we have some contributors.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we're going to be talking about Hues and Cues. This is all about colors and guessing. So you've got a huge board full of all these different colors. Someone's going to be giving out clues, trying to get you to guess where they want you to be on the board. And then we, all as guessers, are trying to match up to that as well. It's a party game. If it has 3 to 10 on the box, but really, 6 plus player count is really where it's at.
So a little tiny thing about this game is that there's cones in it for your player markers, and that's specifically to represent the cones in your eyes, since this is a color game. So I just really like that, because there's not a lot of components in this game.
Yeah.
So to make sure that you have that one little component shine and make sense, I just thought that was really neat.
Yeah, this game, it's just the perfect party game. It appeals to everybody, So we played it with our 7-year-old all the way up to, senior citizens. And you can play it with gamers and non-gamers. It's got a ton of appeal, and it's just so colorful. You can't, walk past the table and not want to know more. What is this game about? I think it's really eye-catching.
I can't wait to tell your dad that you just called him a senior citizen.
I played the 5th.
So anybody, if you want to see our more of us, you can also follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can find us under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. So everybody, this is Ryan and Bethany, hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye everybody.
Hey, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who comments, and I mean everybody. I learn something all the time. And you know what? This is me. This is who I am. Everything else is just an act. Right? So let's get serious, okay? Today, we're going back in time. Where? In time. Gaius Julius Caesar, also known as Julius Caesar in vulgar language. And did you know that the month of July was also named after him? July, Julius. No way, Pop! You're the best! I know, son. Columbia Games, Julius Caesar. Low complexity, wonderful components, block game, easy to learn. Check this out. Firstly, let's look at that map. You get a beautiful 17 by 33-inch map of the old world, when gods were gods and there was fantasy and dragons and stuff. When I say go back in time, I'm talking about old. We don't know what old is, man. And this is where my mom came from. Her house, 800 years old. No way! Why don't you get off your PlayStation and learn something once in a while, huh? Oh, yeah. As I said, this is a blog game, so the other person doesn't see who you got coming at them, and vice versa. And that's what's great about it. Total immersion. You know what I'm saying? You know, this game isn't about attacking the Gauls or attacking the barbarians or whatever. It's a civil war. You're actually attacking family. Let's look at the blocks here. They're all the same city names. The reds, their names are all the same as the gold, and that means someone's gonna have to take over something. So we got in the middle there where it says A3, Kaiser, Antonius, Octavian. That's right, Octavian, not Octavian. Octavian. And there's even Cleopatra. She's gonna stir something. Then Pompey, Scipio, and that miserable wretch Brutus, my brother. And for events, this is a card-assisted game, so the gods help you. Or not. You think the first tank was in World War I? Ha! Think again. Imagine 200 of this coming at you. And to show you how simple this game is to pick up, check out these blocks. Top right, number 16. That's your legion. The next number is your strength. Those 3 is your strength. So as you go down in strength, you rotate the blocks 2 and 1. C2, initiative in combat. And D, well, the name of the unit or place. Columbia Games and Julius Caesar. Check it out. Simple, great, deep games. Beautiful components. Check it out. It's also available on PC and Mac on Steam.
Hey there everyone, it's Jen, the board game librarian, and the ginger jerk who's taken my seat as I am. I'm on the floor. This week, from the page to the table, per usual, I'm going to pair a book and a board game, but there's a reason why I'm in a different location this week. We're doing books and games with music. Ooh, exciting. Oh, goody, I get to sit in the chair. This week's book is called The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. It is kind of an homage to vinyl stores and taking place first in the 1980s with our main character Frank and this young woman Ilsa, who he is educating about music, all the different kinds of music with vinyls, and his deep love and appreciation for music. So a game that shares a love of vinyl records and music is Vinyl Jukebox, designed by Eric Alvarado, a 2-player game that's coming to Kickstarter on July 27th. In this game, you are doing some bag building and tile selection out of the bag, where you're putting in different varieties of genres, 40s, 50s, 60s music, different varieties of music from rock to jazz to pop, and trying to build a grid of your favorite 45 records. I think if you are a music fan, you'll have a fun time with Jukebox, and it's the same company, Talon Strikes, that did vinyl as well. That is all for this week. Happy breakfast.
Alrighty, well, I'm sure next week we're going to have a ton of news. Yeah. I'm assuming that some stuff will be announced over Gen Con. In fact, some was announced last night from Fantasy Flight Games, which is a majority of what we're talking about. But first, let's talk about a few other things. First of all, from Renegade and Oni Games, we have Autumn Harvest, which is a standalone compatible game to T-Dragon Society card game. So much so that when I saw it, I thought that's what it was.
Am I wrong in thinking that this is almost the exact same cover, but with a color change? Gosh, well, these covers look the same.
That's what I'm saying. So when I saw this in the news, I thought this already exists, right? but it's not. Tea Dragon Society has a summer motif to it.
Mm-hmm.
It has different animals, but they're all done the same way. So if you put them next to each other, and I'm sure they're going to come out with winter something, winter break, or who knows what. Anyway, this is supposed to be coming out Q4 2020. Cool. Well, if you like Unmatched, and I know Z does,
I do indeed.
And you also like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's coming out. Unmatched. So Unmatched is made by two companies, Restoration Games and Mondo Games. Restoration Games makes the non-IP stuff, or at least non-public. They make public domain. They just did Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
Mondo makes the IP. They did Bruce Lee and the Jurassic Park, and now Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So you are going to have Buffy, Spike, Willow, Angel, and this is coming out in October. Now, I'm glad they're making more Unmatched stuff. I am not necessarily a Buffy fan, but I know a lot of people are.
Yeah, this is, I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of those IPs, or one of those shows that has a lot of followers that we don't know, or fans, I should say, that we don't necessarily know are fans. I'm sure they know what they're doing as far as market research and all that stuff. I haven't ever seen the show, so I'm not a fan simply because I've never been exposed to it. And so I'm not really excited about this like I was when I heard that, the Invisible Man and Sherlock Holmes are going to be in one.
Sure.
But more content I'm happy about. Even if it's not for me, that's okay. It's for somebody. I'm sure those people are thrilled to hear about this.
Yeah, I'm not bashing on it at all. I mean, you like Buffy, you like Buffy. It's fine.
Yeah, right.
All right, Horrible Guild, which is still a weird name for a board game company. They're now hosting a live web series where designers will play games in real time. And so they have different games coming up. And so I don't know how this is much different than a lot of other things that are online, but hey, another YouTube channel coming.
All right, cool.
YouTube or Twitch. We just mentioned Restoration Games. This was brought to light that Restoration Games applied and got the trademark for Hero Quest Legacies. Now, we're told not to read too much into that. Kind of hard to not read into that, So we'll have to wait and see. But if something comes from this, then I will be pleased.
Interesting. Huh.
Now, Gamegenics is making... Last year, Gamegenics came onto the scene, and they are taking over the fantasy flight of making card sleeves and other things. And last year, they introduced all the stuff that they had for Keyforge, which was really nice. And they just recently announced stuff for Catan, and they also announced they're going to be working with Come On Games. And then here you can also see that they have Marvel sleeves. This is for their Champions games. These are pretty good. I don't like the She-Hulk one very much, but I do like the Spider-Man one a lot. I wish they were more like that one, because that one looks like the whole sleeve is something. The rest feels like they put a logo in them, like the Captain Marvel, they just threw a logo on the card.
I just wish they were the same. I like the Captain Marvel goes together with the Captain America. Those two have the same kind of iconic look. Spider-Man, I guess you could say, has that one too. Yeah, She-Hulk. I guess she doesn't have a logo. You know what I mean? She doesn't have an icon, but. Yeah, it's like she's punching through the sleeve, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not a big fan of either. Alrighty,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I know their quality is really good. So there's that. I don't know how many people played the James Bond Legendary game. I know that it's still sitting on our to-play pile. No one's touched it yet. But there's an expansion coming for it. So there's that. You can see some of the most iconic characters and James Bond wearing a top hat. As we all know, hats are awesome.
I guess this game sold well enough that they pushed out an expansion. Color me surprised, because did not think this was one of their best sellers.
Well, I'm actually excited about the next piece of news. This was sent to me by one of our listeners. It was just mentioned in a thread somewhere. And Detective Club has an expansion coming, which looks like it's in a tin, which is kind of annoying. you know.
Well, wasn't the Detective Club in a tin?
It is, right? But I mean, I don't want 2 tins, sitting around. Especially this one is clearly a smaller size. But that being said, like my dad's visiting me right now, and he wanted to know some simple games to get, and so I bought him Detective Club, and we just played it last night. Such a great game. So more cards is always good for this.
Very nice. Very nice.
Alrighty, this next news, Last Light is an upcoming 4X space game from Gray Fox Games. It is an unknown crap designer. No,
My gosh. Tell them who it is, Tom.
It is our, if we're still streaming because our video editor may have shut down the channel, it is Roy Canaday, our video editor. And Roy has been working on this game for a long time, almost since I've known him. And it has had nothing but rave reviews from everyone who's played it. I have not played it. I'm waiting for the final product. I want to be surprised by it. But it has gotten very good things. And in fact, he had publishers coming to fisticuffs over who would publish the game. That's not quite true, but definitely he didn't have a hard time finding a publisher. And so this is exciting. You can go watch a teaser trailer. It's coming to Kickstarter at some point. We'll give more information, but we do want to give a shout out to Roy because it's a big deal. In less exciting news, Contra, the board game, is coming. This is from Blacklist Games. They're the same folks who the Sadler brothers make all their games for them.
Okay.
My only concern with this is Contra was just a game you ran through and shot everything that came across the screen.
That game looks light, yeah.
Remarkably more complex than that. I hope it's not complex. It shouldn't be.
There's no way that game is not complex. I'm sorry, Tom. Look at that picture. There's no way this game isn't complex. Look at that. You got dice and cards and flim-flams and like little standees, and there's a dexterity element. I believe you flick those discs. Yeah, you can quote me on everything I just said also, people. I know what I'm talking about. This game is complicated.
Alrighty, well, the rest of our news is all Fantasy Flight. Last night was the Fantasy Flight in-flight report. Every year, me and Z go to this live in person. Last year, we were not able to. They streamed it on Twitch until their Twitch stream broke down, so then they eventually posted it on YouTube, and we were able to watch all of it. So here we go with our opinions. So first, they announced more X-Wing stuff, and shocking, right? There's more X-Wing stuff.
Are they still on X-Wing, like, 2.0?
Yes.
They had, like, some refresh a few years ago, right? Okay.
Yeah, so you can see some of the new ships, and there's even more ships than the ones that they showed off here. I saw painted X-Wings in the video and so on and so forth. Right. They also have more stuff for Legion, including Darth Maul and Anakin Skywalker, and they were showing off these miniatures. And then a bunch of packs. In fact, they showed this robot. This is one of those times where I know they're in a different part of Star Wars than I've seen because I didn't recognize any of these robots here. They must be from the cartoons or something that I have not seen. Then, in a slight surprise, more Armada stuff. I thought Armada was kind of done, but there's a lot more Armada ships coming out for Star Wars Armada. So they spent a good chunk of their in-flight report talking about Star Wars, but it's all stuff we've seen before. And unfortunately, there was not an expansion announced for Star Wars Outer Rim. I know some people were hoping for a Mandalorian expansion or any new board game. So for those of us looking for board games, that part was kind of eh. Then Keyforge. So here's my first problem. So first of all, they have this new Dark Tidings, which that box is awesome. Looks really cool. I like the idea that it's undersea and they have a Tide card. But I'm still very annoyed about the current set that just came out now. Because one of their big pushes in the current set was the giant monsters, 2-card monsters. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I bought 8 packs, and I didn't get any giant monsters in any of the packs. And I thought this was one of their main advertising points. So I looked it up online, and there's only 3 of these giant monsters, and they're rares. And I don't want to keep buying packs till I get this. That's the point of this wasn't that it was not a CCG. With this set, they've taken it to an even more nth degree. There are now dark twin sets of cards. I don't know if you heard about this, Z.
Yeah, I
So
did.
if you have a deck, there's a possibility there will be an evil twin deck to that, where every card is like opposite and different in the world somewhere. These decks will be rare. And I think I'm done with Keyforge at this point. I like Keyforge. I have like 30 decks for it. The whole point of Keyforge was that you had a deck and you play with it, not to keep. I know they need to sell decks, right? But I don't know.
I told you when people were talking about how this was like such a clever idea, and I think the algorithm is. But all this system is doing is making, instead of like, you buy cards, like this is a rare card, this is a common card. Now you buy decks, like the deck becomes a card. So this deck is rare. This deck is common. People don't play them that much, I feel like. They just collect the entirety of one deck as like one card. The evil twin thing I thought was a weird piece of news. I like the idea. It was clever. And they said, like the algorithm doing this, very impressive technology. Also, why would I, know or care about my deck having some twin evil deck out there somewhere? I'm not going to buy both. Those odds are astronomical. Or having an evil twin deck, and I know that the original is out there somewhere. Again, same thing. That seems strange. Like, I'm not going to have both.
Wouldn't that be cool if you could buy the starter deck and you got the deck and the evil twin? That would be much more interesting.
Right.
Now, I guess what they're trying to say is
these were reserved. Go ahead.
I was saying, I think that they're trying to say go register your deck and then find your evil twin, and my evil twin lives in Singapore. But I don't know what that even means then.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the idea. It would be nice if some of the starters, the 2-player starter decks, if they had a regular deck and the evil twin were the 2 that came in there. But I know they're not doing that anymore. They're just basically 2 random packs in there.
All righty. Well, still more news. This might be of interest to Z. There's more stuff coming for Arkham Horror. They had already announced an Arkham Horror, the board game expansion, which I was surprised it took so long for that announcement to come. The new game came out, was it last year? And,
I think it was the year before that. Yeah. 3rd edition you're talking about?
Oh, you're right. 3rd edition was 2 years ago. And so they have an expansion for it, and they're like trying to make all their expansions line up. So the expansions for the card game and for the board game are kind of matched up in the same thing, and it's Innsmouth right now. Yes. And so I don't know how excited you are about that. I mean, I know you want more stuff for this game.
Yeah, the Innsmouth cycle is coming up. They were just announcing basically the packs. They announced the last one, which was not available. But this information is out so far ahead. Like the cycle hasn't even started yet. We know everything that's in it. The other thing, the more exciting piece of news, I thought, was the scenario pack. Normally at Gen Con, they have some event where people sign up, they show up, and they play some quirky scenario. Last year, we had the blob that ate everything, where you're playing against this, a big group of people are playing against this one blob that keeps eating everything. The year before that, they had a different one. Well, this year, they had one planned. But, of course, there's no physical Gen Con. So they're skipping the playing of it and just sort of going forward into the publishing part of it. And that's the War of the Outer Gods set here, which is a large multiplayer style scenario with 3, I think, different cults bringing the evil gods forth. That's the idea. But
Fantasy Flight Games was not done announcing stuff for games that already exist. There was also more stuff for Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth. They announced, to my surprise, another cycle of things for The Legend of the Five Rings, the Temptations cycle. They announced, not to my surprise, more Marvel Champions stuff. And while I was expecting there to be X-Men Marvel Champions, that was my guess, instead Guardians of the Galaxies was their big thing. So they showed off Rocket and Groot, and then they showed off several of the next packs, Ant-Man, Wasp, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch. Not a big surprise, but they said that this is one of their best-selling LCGs of all time. I know that they carefully did not say it was the best-selling, so I'm assuming Arkham Horror still reigns supreme there.
I would assume so too, but this has got to be catching up.
Probably.
And I think it'll very quickly, I assume, will catch up. It seems to be doing quite well.
All right, and then earlier there was a leaked cover of a TI4 expansion, and surprisingly, they announced it. Now this is not a cheap expansion. It's $100.
Kidding. Yeah.
Woo. But it adds 7 new alien races. It adds 2 new player colors. It adds mechs that you can use, and then a bunch of other stuff. And they said they're going to be revealing it piecemeal as time goes by. But they said there's tons of stuff in here. So if you like TI4, I'm sure you're super excited about this. I'm a little excited about this. I think these 2 new races sound cool. You know, the one is like a race that's been trapped in this prison and now they're escaped, and the other one is the Argent Flight, and it was their job to keep the one race in prison, and they failed, so now they're just going to take over the galaxy to keep everything under control. So I also saw when they showed off the new planets, Hope's End, which is one of my favorite planets from the original game, is in this. So when I say original game, I mean TI3, I guess. Yeah.
Poser. You're such a poser.
Oh, TI2, I mean Hope's End.
Mm-hmm.
Still, at this point in the presentation, they hadn't announced anything new. So
new lines of products. Yeah, right.
They announced something new, and as we guessed, they had the X-Men license and an X-Men board game, except it's not a board game. It's a dice game. So this dice game and quick, nimble-eyed people were able to note that one of the designers on this dice game is Richard Launius, because when I first saw this, I thought, that looks suspiciously like Elder Signs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a spin-off of Elder Signs where it's not exactly the same game. It looks different in many ways, but it also looks similar in many ways. And I got to be honest, I am not excited about this. I'll play it, but if I want a light cooperative Marvel game, Command already did that. Right?
Yeah. I'm not.
If you put this next to Marvel United, which one is more attractive?
Yeah, I think Marvel United. But I'm just, again, I think a little part of me is a bit deflated because they continue to do this. When Marvel Champions was announced, it was like, as they showed more and more of it, I was thinking, this looks like it's based on Arkham Horror LCG. Indeed, it was. Now they have this second.
You mean Lord of the Rings?
Both. It's based on both, kind of. And then this one, same thing. I'm like, okay, X-Men. Oh, wait, that looks like it's based on Elder Sign. Also, I have to say, it doesn't look that good. Maybe it'll be an inexpensive product. I assume with those standees and the look of everything, it's not an expensive product. It's not going to be a $100 expansion like the TI4 expansion is, but I don't know. I'm not psyched. This was the one piece of news that I was looking forward to, something new, and I agree with you. I'm not thrilled.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I might play it, and it may be amazing. I know that Z was a big fan. I liked Elder Signs. You liked it more than I did.
Yeah.
And this might work. It's just I sat through, again, FFG, when they go through this Inflight report, it's kind of like they're just doing more of the same, which if you like that same stuff isn't bad, right? Oh, I want more stuff. That's great. But there are days where they experimented and made weird games like Android and stuff. Those days seem gone.
Right. Those are racist.
At the very end of their thing, he pretended to accidentally show off. Apparently, this is the new box size for big games, Descent. This looks like Foundations of Rome. I think the cube box. It used to be the coffin box. We've moved to the cube. Fits in a calyx cube, right?
I guess so. I guess that's the deal, right?
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm really excited about this. I love Descent. A third edition of Descent is super exciting to me. I'm hoping that they do new things and interesting things. I'm really annoyed that they decided to not give any details, considering the rest of the stuff's rehashes. And Descent seems like it's the biggest news, more than all this, half this other stuff put together. And it also says Act 1 on the box, which is a little nerve-wracking. And if that TI4 expansion's $100, I'm very hesitant to know what the price of this box is. You know, is that a $150 game there? I feel like it could be.
Yeah, maybe. You're right. It's a cool cover. I like the look a lot. I don't see where it says Act 1, but that's also a little worrisome. Yeah, we'll see.
I read that from someone else, so maybe it doesn't say that.
All right. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm sure they'll announce.
You were predicting that they would announce something like this, so kudos to you, Tom.
No, to be fair, I've been predicting Descent 3rd edition now for about 5 years straight.
I don't care. When you finally get it, I congratulate you.
Also, they accidentally leaked it with those Descent novels too. So,
okay.
All in all, I was slightly underwhelmed by the entire Fantasy Flight in-flight report. But who knows? Again, I might be surprised by these things. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what else is announced as Gen Con goes by.
Yeah, I'm ready for more news on that X-Men dice game. So I'll stay tuned for that.
Alrighty. Well, there you go. Let's go to some contributors, and we'll be back with a game show.
She's so fancy. You don't even know. Look at her. Nope, you are unamused by my singing. Unamused. All right. Hello, fellow gamers. I've finally started receiving some Kickstarters in. I'm super excited about it. I feel like I have a small little trickle of games now, but I am just like out of my mind excited about the cardboard castle I'm going to be building out of all of the board games I'm getting in from Kickstarter coming soon. Featured this week, we have Lizard Wizard from Forbidden Games, which is for 2 to 5 archmages looking to take their love of wizardry to the next level. Build your power by recruiting wizards, gathering regrants, and exploring dungeons. Control the auction house to outbid your rivals and collect sets of familiars to become the greatest wizard in the land for about 90 minutes at least. So to get your Eye of Newt and Toe of Frog, you can go ahead and back this game for $49. Now, if you prefer a conquest in the old-fashioned way, then maybe Northgard Uncharted Lands from Open Sesame Games is the game for you, as 2 to 5 Vikings will roam across the north, racing to discover unspoiled lands across the sea. Brave chieftains will gather their forces to explore, exploit, exterminate, and expand across Northgard. Craft the perfect deck if you want to rule this modular world full of rivals. This streamlined 4X game will end in fame or failure in 45 to 90 minutes. Glory could be yours for $59. Now leaving the frozen north, you find yourself in the mighty capital of the Egyptians in Tutankhamun by 25th Century Games, which allows 2 to 6 priests or priestesses to prove their devotion to the new pharaoh. Travel along the Nile, collecting only the most rarest and unique of items, especially if you want to be the next high priest or priestess. But that's not all. New godly powers makes this Reiner Knizia classic a surefire hit for the archaeologist in your life. $29 gets you a 30-minute set collection game to die for. And finally, one thing people from the desert understand is the smell of petrichor, that unique scent of rain on the horizon. In petrichor from Mighty Boards, 1 to 4 clouds will drift along the sky, trying to find water and grow the best crops. Using weather, you'll struggle to control the board in this highly interactive area control game. Game time for this is 20 minutes per a fluffy little cloud, and Collector's Edition will cost you $99. Thanks so much for joining me this week. If you want to know more about any of the Kickstarters that you saw here today, then join me at gloryhound.com as we talk about all of these Kickstarters in depth and if we had backed them or not. It is a live show, so all of you get to participate in the commentary and let us know what you think about these Kickstarters. Other than that, I will see you all next week.
Hi everybody, I'm Star
Carla.
I'm Mick.
And we are Our Family Plays Games.
Yeah.
And today, we're going to show you another one of our favorite family games.
Splendor from Space Cowboys. Fun times here.
Now, Splendor plays 2 to 4 players. Now, with Splendor, you are a gem merchant.
Whoa.
And what you do in this game is, in order to get gems, you have cards.
Yeah.
And the cards, you have to fulfill them by getting the raw materials to make this particular gem. So for this one, you need 4 onyx to collect this card. This card has a 1 on it, so you're going to get 1 point. Now, in addition to that, you've got nobles that come to visit you.
And they're not happy.
And you want a noble to come visit you. Now, in order to get a noble, you have to get the requirements in cards to get a noble.
Get one of those mean-looking nobles.
So with the card, you use the stones, the raw stones, and for the nobles, you use the cards. Splendor is a great gateway game because it has elements that people can identify with, cards, and these awesome little poker chips, weighted poker chips, which is great. So Splendor is a fun game for the family.
Yes, it is. Yes,
and
it
it is
is
one of the first games we learned. It's
yes,
like
it was.
our top 10 of games we learned.
Yes, it was. And it was so much fun, we had to get it.
We had to have it.
We had to get it.
And since then, we've been showing it to people every chance we get.
This is the one. We love it.
We do.
We
love
it.
Splendor.
We do love it.
If you don't have it, I say check it out.
Because you got to build that engine, baby. You got to build it. Yeah.
So that's all we have for you today.
Have a great breakfast, and we will see you again later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Hello, my name's Dan, this is Cora, and we're here today to continue our designer diary for Cora Quest. Come on, quick. We've only got 2 minutes. I'm going to sit here until you say Cora Quest. There we go, that'll do. And today we're going to talk about the mechanics of Cora Quest.
Yes.
And these are the rules that we came up before we even played the game, wasn't it? So these are going to definitely change as we play test and things.
Definitely.
So one of the big questions, because it's a fighting game, we wanted to ask was,
how are we going to fight?
How are we going to fight? And what we did for that was we decided we're going to use dice, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we decided we wanted to have like quite a simple system where you roll a dice and if you get over a number,
then you hit or you don't hit.
You hit or you don't hit. So one of the things we did was we incorporated a little bit of maths there and we spent some time going through various dice rolls and working out how, like, half the time, if you want to hit half the time, what number are you going to have to roll on your dice?
4+.
4+, that's it. If you want to hit 3/4 of the time, no. If you want to hit 3/3, if you want to hit...
If you want to hit 3/3, it's any number.
All right. Listen, I'm not doing the maths, you are. 2/3, I meant. 2/3. Go on then, smarty pants.
Is it 5? No. 3+.
Took a bit of working out.
We're gonna edit a lot of that.
Well, I did a lot of that working out. But yeah, so we did a lot of maths work there. I did some probability stuff, and then we decided we needed to have some skills, some different skills and things like that, didn't we? So we've got the stats of health, agility, movement, combat skill, and ranged weapons and spells and things. And we spent a lot of time going through each of the characters and working out where we felt they should be on the various stats.
Yeah.
So can you give me an example of someone who's really agile?
The Hobbit was quite agile. We put the Hobbit as the most agile.
Yeah.
And the dwarf had the most health.
Yeah.
And
the dwarf had some good combat skills as well, didn't he? And the sword lady was a good all-rounder.
Yeah.
And the spear lady's got good range, hasn't she? And all sorts of stuff.
She's got like 2 range.
2 range, yeah.
The squares are like that.
That's all right. So we did a lot of work around that. And in the next video, we're going to talk about some of the English language work we did in coming up with some of the backgrounds for the characters.
I hated that.
She didn't like it at all. But we're still going to talk about it. So we'll see you next video. Bye-bye.
All right, it's time for Z to play against the people in our poll game. So I have 6 different polls that we're going to do here. I'm going to ask them to everyone. In fact, I put the first poll in the YouTube comments as we speak. So
Okay.
you can vote on these polls, and then Z is going to try to pick the guess that he thinks is either second, third, or fourth. So I made this time, it's even straight points for Z Garcia. So if he picks the guess that's gotten the number 1 votes, he gives the people 2 points. If he picks the number 3 or 4, he'll get 2 points. But if he picks the number 2, the second highest, he gets 4 points. If he picks the 5th one, he gives the people 2 points. And if he picks the worst one of all, he gives the people 6 points. Are you ready? Today, I guess I should wait for a comment. Are you ready?
Yes. I was trying to figure out your scoring still. I got it.
It's 2 or 4 points. So
Or
the best
6.
for you is 4. Second place, and the worst for you is 6th place.
And I'm only picking one thing, Tom?
You're only picking one thing.
All right, let's do it.
So my questions today are all about desires. So today, in honor of Gen Con, no, not those kind of desires. I said if you could go to any convention and cost was not a concern, which of these would you pick? All right. So I have Gen Con, the Spiel at Essen, Origins, UK Gaming Expo, Tokyo Game Show, or BGG Con. I didn't put the Dice Tower one in here because I didn't want to cry.
That's right.
That way we'll never know.
I think oh wait, I don't want number 1.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want number 1.
Oh man, that's how you get me. You're so smart with these whole games and their twists. So I think Spiel is number 1. I'm pretty sure. But Gen Con could easily be 2. It could also be, I know Tokyo Game Show is a quirky little thing, and going to Tokyo also then lets you go to Tokyo. So, that one seems the most unattainable. So that's my vote. Tokyo Game Show is going to be my vote for maybe squeaking in a 2, maybe 3.
All righty. Well, with 123 votes in at this point in time, the number 1 by a mile was Essen Spiel.
Yes.
Number 2, that had 70 votes, more than half of the votes. Number 2 with 22 votes was Gen Con. All right, a lot of people want to go to Gen Con. The number 3 with 15 votes is the Tokyo Game Show. So yes, that's 2 points for Z. Number 4 was BGG Con, 5 UK Games Expo, and Origins came in at number 6.
All right, good 2 points.
All righty, so now let's go away from gaming briefly, and let's pick going to a maybe not for you, but for many people, these are exotic cities. If you could visit any of these cities, which would you pick? So you can do Moscow, Beijing, Sao Paulo, Johannesburg, Honolulu, or Cairo. Some of these cities are in my head thanks to playing through Pandemic Legacy Season 0.
Yeah, right. You said Moscow. I missed a couple. Moscow.
Beijing, Sao Paulo, Johannesburg, Honolulu, or Cairo. So I tried to pick spots that were in all different parts of the world. You know, we got Russia, China, Brazil, South Africa, Hawaii, and Egypt. And all these are cities that I would like to go to. I've been to only Beijing is the only one I've been to on this list.
You like it?
Yeah, well, I like any city I go to. I never dislike going to another city.
All right, so I'm thinking Honolulu and Beijing really should be near the top of the list. Cairo could be up there as well. So I'm going to say, Honolulu or Beijing could be 1 or 2. It could go either way. I'm going to guess Honolulu's 1, Beijing is number 2. So I'm going to go with Beijing. Don't let me down.
Hang on, I'm waiting for a tie to break here.
Oh, man. I spoke too soon. What I meant to say was Moscow for the win, followed by Johanna's Cairosburg.
All right, let's take a look here.
All right, that seems shady. I better get the points here.
Yeah.
You're waiting
All right.
for things to change. What's
With
up?
128 votes, number one spot was Honolulu with 50 of those votes. Number two with 32 votes was Cairo. Number three with 15 votes was Johannesburg. Number four with 14 votes. Are you nervous yet?
Yeah.
Beijing. So you still got 2 points. So you're still in the game.
No, I didn't get 2 points, did I? Oh, 4?
Yeah.
I still get 2 points
This is
for 4.
too easy.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to have to take away that fourth spot for you. Then 5 was Moscow with 12 votes and 6 Sao Paulo with 9. I thought Sao Paulo would be more popular.
I figured Beijing would be more popular. That's weird. 4, huh?
Alrighty. Next, if they made a sequel for a game, which of these would get you most excited?
Okay.
Blood Rage 2, Wingspan 2, Through the Ages 2, Terra Mystica 2, Seven Wonders 2, or Mage Wars Board Game 2. I tried to pick games that I knew there wasn't a second edition coming for. So we got Blood Rage, Wingspan, Through the Ages, Terra Mystica, Seven Wonders, and Mage Wars Board Game.
Well, not a lot of people love Blood Rage, so that could easily be at the top. Wingspan wins everything. I mean, I understand. It's actually, I believe we are in breach of some sort of contract if it also doesn't win this vote right now.
There's like apparently a law that Wingspan has to win everything.
Wingspan, if it shows up in some kind of it wins. That's how that works. Mage Wars, not Mage Knight. You said Mage Wars. I
said Mage Wars. You're right. I meant Mage Knight, and I wrote Mage Wars. Well, we're sticking with it. Mage Wars.
That's the bottom. Terra Mystica. I'm gonna go with. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Blood Rage at the top, number 1. Wingspan, second place.
So you're picking Wingspan?
Yeah, baby. I don't want to be in breach.
Alrighty. The bottom is actually Terra Mystica with 8 votes.
Ooh, in your face, Terra.
The second lowest was Mage Wars Board Game. You're right. I really wonder if I put Mage Knight where that would have been. But all right.
For sure.
Then we have Through the Ages in the number 4 spot.
Hey.
In the number 3 spot, 26 votes, Seven Wonders. Very popular. In the number 2, one more vote with 27 votes, Blood Rage. And the number 1 answer, Wingspan.
Come on now, man. I was kidding about having to win everything.
And now the people have 2 points. It's 4-2.
Oh.
All right, let's jump over to Fantasy Flight. They did not announce a new living card game, but what if they did? Which of these intellectual properties would make you happiest if they announced a living card game? We have DC Universe, Fallout, World of Warcraft, Fortnite, Elder Scrolls, or Zelda.
Oh my goodness. Elder Scrolls.
So we got DC Universe, Fallout, World of Warcraft, Fortnite, Elder Scrolls, or Zelda.
Let me think about our audience here, because I know in a different setting, Fortnite would like destroy the rest of these. I'm pretty sure. However, Zelda's gonna be popular. Elder Scrolls. Gosh, these are all good. This is a tough one, Tom. This is a tough one. DC Universe also. That's tough. Huh.
I would love if they could get the DC universe and they could make it Champions and you could cross-pollinate with Marvel. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. If they had that license, they could do a game that's the same game, just not say they probably couldn't say they're compatible. But if you get opaque cards, you could then mix them, you know?
Yes, folks. I know I didn't spell Fortnite right. I'm sorry.
But did you right?
I wrote it Fortnite, but I forgot I spelled night correctly.
What's wrong with you, man? You got to be hip with the kids, Tom.
I know how it's spelled. I just typed it wrong. Sorry.
Here we go, Tom. I'm going to say DC Universe 1, Zelda 2, Elder Scrolls. No. WoW 3. No, it's too old. Elder Scrolls 3. Fortnite 4, Fallout 5, WoW 6. I'm going to go all in, so I'm saying Zelda for second place. Come on, baby.
In sixth place, by a mile, only 3 votes, Fortnite. We'll just assume it's because I spelled it wrong. In fifth place, with 15 votes, Elder Scrolls. In fourth place, with 20 votes, World of Warcraft. Third place, DC Universe with 21 votes.
Wow, really?
Number 1 got 55, number 2 got 22. It wasn't even close. 22 votes goes to Fallout. Zelda, 55 votes. That
really
gives them 2 more points. It's a tie game, 4-4.
Wow, so people would rather have the Zelda one than the Fallout one.
All right.
And more than the DC one. The DC didn't even get that high. I told you, man. I told you Superman was a hack.
All right, Z. Here we go. What stretch goal for Kickstarter excites you the most? We have playmat. We have more content. We have miniatures. We have upgraded wooden bits. We have metal coins. And we have They Don't Excite Me. So... playmat, more content, miniatures, upgraded wooden bits, metal coins, or They Don't Excite Me.
Okay. Okay, so playmat, more content kind of seems like quite the catch-all. So more content is number 1. I mean, it's just more content. Great, yeah, absolutely. That could be anything. So that's number 1. But number 2, and this would be true for me also, it's got to be metal coins. Metal coins are delectable. They're wonderful. They give nutritional value to any game you play. So I'm going to go with that. And then after that, minis, even though that one technically go up. So who knows? Minis. And then, I guess maybe a playmat after that. The rest I don't care about. Metal coins. Only because more content is there. Here we go.
Number 6, the bottom was miniatures with only 12 votes. Number 5 was They Don't Excite Me. I will say, though, the first 6 votes were for that. So those people must be like, they didn't have to think. They're like, done. Mm-hmm. Number 5 is the playmat, although that's my personal vote. I like the playmats a lot.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's number 4. Number 3, 25 votes. Number 2, 27. Number 1, you were right. It's more content. So you're trying to get upgraded wooden bits or metal coins. And it's upgraded metal bits at number 2, metal coins at number 3. But it's still points. 2 points. You're at 6. It's 6-4.
All right.
So if there's a tie, it goes to chat, remember.
Absolutely.
So you have to get points here. You can't give any points up. All right. So we talked about the FFG Inflight report, but I wanted to know which of these companies gets you most excited about a new release. We have FFG. We have Come On. We have Eggert Spiel. We have Stonemeyer, we have Z-Man Games, and Prospero Hall. Which of these companies gets you most excited about a new release? FFG, Come On, Eggertspiel, Stonemeyer, Z-Man Games, or Prospero Hall?
You mean, because Prospero Hall is more like a design studio. Do you mean Funko?
I didn't say publisher. I said company. I know they're a design
That's true.
hall.
They are a company. That's true. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Someone said I didn't put Awaken Realms. You're right. I should have put Awaken Realms. I was trying to put some non-miniature game things in there, so I put Eggertspiel in for you Euro gamers and Z-Man.
All right, I'm gonna go with I think number one is gonna be Stonemeyer. They have a cult-like following. That's gonna be my number one pick. Number two is Simon or FFG. It's gotta be. So 2 goes to FFG, I think, and then 3 Simon, 4, 5, and 6 could be any one of those. Probably Eggertspiel at the bottom. People might not be as aware of them, maybe. Yeah. This is risky because they could easily switch. I think this is going to be a little tighter at the top. I'm going to go with FFG.
FFG is your pick? All right.
Yeah.
Number one by a mile, 69 votes for Stonemeyer.
Boom!
Number two, with 21 votes, a drop down, and you weren't just expecting this, Z-Man Games.
Really? I'm happy to hear it, but...
Boom! Okay. Number three, design company Prospero Hall, 17 votes. What was your pick again?
FFG.
How you feeling?
Prospero Hall and Z-Man and Stonemeyer, huh?
All right.
I think FFG's got more goodwill right now than Come On.
Well,
So
number
I
6
still
is
give it to them.
Eggertspiel. And then we have FFG and Come On. 16 votes and 11 votes.
Yeah, it's got to be FFG, then Come On.
And you are correct. It is FFG, giving Z 2 points for the victory, 8-4. I don't think I laughed that much. You came a hair's breadth from losing.
Okay, fine. That's the juiciest win, though, when you're close.
That's true. All righty, folks. Well, that's the game. Congratulations to Z for winning. Let's go to some more contributors, and we'll end the show.
Happy breakfast, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk to you about Pandemic Hot Zone North America. Really long title, kinda small box. Now, this is a pandemic game, and unlike Rapid Response, this does feel like an actual pandemic game. Think Ticket to Ride London or New York to Ticket to Ride, and that's kind of what you're getting here. It's kind of a boiled down experience. 20, 15-ish sort of minutes, and the game is over. And now, that's great for getting it to the table, but that's actually my biggest problem with the game. I feel like in a normal pandemic, the regular pandemic, after 40 minutes, you've invested a lot of time. And that means if you're on the brink of losing, you really care because you've poured time and effort into trying to win. After 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you could have lost this, but you don't feel like there was any tension there because, well, it's such a quick game. Now, that being said, I do really enjoy the crisis cards that come in the box. Now, there's a handful of them, so you won't use all of them in one game, and if it's your first ever play, maybe don't include them, but they just make things harder, stopping you flying, making a random hotspot, not outbreak, but have 3 cubes added to it. And they make this game. They save this game from being kind of just a boring 15-minute version of Pandemic and turn it into one it's at least worth giving a go. Unfortunately, that is kind of where I sit. It's okay. Probably won't be keeping it, and probably won't play it too much more. I'd just play the normal Pandemic. or Season 0 when it comes out. Anyway, that's Pandemic, Hot Zone, North America, long title, small box. I'm Oliver East, signing out.
Hello, and welcome back to Retro Board Game Corner. Here I have Eyewitness Game, published in 1971 by Milton Bradley. This is a 3 or more player game in which you're using your powers of observation. Let me set this up and show you how it works. To start the game, you're going to pick one person to be the MC, and that person is going to show the picture and keep track of the score. Every other team will get a true and false button. To start the game, you will go ahead and pick one of the scenes to play. This is game 17, scene 17. So you'll go ahead and the MC will show this to everybody for 30 seconds and then cover it back up. After the 30 seconds is up, he'll go to the book and look at the 10 questions that he has to ask the people. Now the people will either answer true or false and then score accordingly. After the 10 questions, whoever is closest to the finish line on the score tracker will win the game. This game is very challenging to play, and there's also 88 different games that you can play in this book. This is one of the games I owned growing up, but since it was a used copy, it only came with about 5 or 6 of the pictures. And to play the game fully, you need all of the pictures because the questions are pre-printed in this book. I'm glad that I now own a full copy of this game. Well, that's all the time I have for now. If you have a comment below, or you can tweet me at RetroBoardGamer. And as always, may your rolls be high.
Hi, I'm Ambi, and in last week's segment, I talked about how I was discovering some solo print and play games. But I've been doing another solo board game adjacent activity for a couple years now, and that's Jigsaw Puzzles. So I was going to talk some about that now. I used to think that I was bad at jigsaw puzzles and that I didn't like doing them, but a few years ago at work, one of my coworkers brought in a jigsaw puzzle to work and everyone was helping do it. So I helped a little bit, and then I found out that I was actually pretty good at finding where the pieces went, and I enjoyed it. It was meditative and calming to me. So then I started doing a bunch of jigsaw puzzles and everyone was bringing them into work and I was the one who was working on them most of the time. So all my coworkers knew that I like jigsaw puzzles. So over the last few years, I've accumulated a lot of puzzles that I've gotten as gifts, mostly from my coworkers. And I've been slowly getting through them on my own at home. But don't worry, this segment isn't going to be about just regular jigsaw puzzles. Although I've already used up most of my time, so maybe it is mostly about just regular jigsaw puzzles. Anyway, a couple of the puzzles I have are these escape puzzles from Ravensburger. These are kind of a cross between an escape room and a puzzle. Basically, each one has a different image, and once you solve the jigsaw puzzle, then there's a bunch of different puzzles that give you codes, and then there's a meta puzzle with all of those puzzles at the end. So if you don't like jigsaw puzzles, then you won't like this because the majority of it is a jigsaw puzzle. But I like jigsaw puzzles, so it was fun putting it together and then at the end having a mini escape room type thing with bonus little code puzzles. So that was neat. This was the first time I'd seen a hybrid jigsaw puzzle with a cross between a jigsaw puzzle and a game type thing. So let me know if there are any others that you know of or have heard of, because I'd like to do more of them. Bye!
Well, hi everybody, I'm Doug Jr., and you're watching a Fellowship of Meeples with Doug and Doug Gaming. Once again, and this may be the last time we do this, I'm not sure, but we're going to play the Guess the Game game, where I've been going through all my family members trying to guess what game they would pick to play if they could pick any game off my shelves. And so today I have with me my daughter-in-law. This is Kurt. Say hello, Kurt.
Hello.
So Kurt is the wife of Robert, who is my oldest son that you met last week. But Kurt's going to guess, or she's going to tell me what game she would most want to play. I have made a guess already. What game would you most want to play if you were here right now?
I would want to play Betrayal: The House on the Hill.
Oh, I did not get it. I said Shadows over Camelot.
Oh, that's another great one.
Because you like being the traitor, I know. Or you're like accusing everyone of being the traitor. I should have thought though. I remember we did have an excellent game of Betrayal one time that you were in on, and Betrayal's kind of hit and miss. Some of the scenarios can be kind of weird, but we've done some really fun ones. And yeah, you do like that. I know you do like that. Actually, I should have thought of that. But well, you guys that have been watching these, you know that I don't get very many of these right anyway. So so far it's been a total of 2, and that may be all I get because I'm kind of running out of family members now. So, well, thanks, Kurt, so much for being on the show today. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And we'll hopefully see you guys soon. But we'll see you guys next week. Be sure and join us again on A Fellowship of Meeples. We'll see you then.
All righty, everybody. Thanks for watching another Board Game Breakfast. We hope that you enjoy it. I know that a lot of people are going to be jumping all over the place today, checking out Gen Con online, but we do have stuff on our channel showing up. You know, Stonemaier Games, most anticipated. My review of Pendulum's going up today. We got there's a top 10 list going up of bribery in games. Z has reviews going up. I have reviews going up. So stuff going up all week long. So we'll keep seeing you. But that's it for this particular show. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget to enter the contest, which was at the beginning of the episode. We'll see you next time.